Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRPs was the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So obviously we just got the weekly candle close for crypto, and everyone is still focused on one thing. Why isn't my altcoin performing? I've been talking about this for a very long time already on the channel now, but we will continue to talk about it and address it as a lot of people are still a little bit unaware on how things really move in terms of the overall market. And that's not a bad thing. Listen, learning is crucial in being successful within crypto and any major financial sector out there. When we are investing money, you need to make sure that you know what is moving those assets. Most of the time, it's market makers, but regardless, there's a few things to watch for in crypto that allow for altcoins to really take that big move to the upside. So we will address that. But first, I saw this post by Parabolic Pump on X, and it was showing the overall altcoin market. And we have that accumulation phase from 2019 all the way into 2021. And then we also have that accumulation phase from the end almost of 2022. This is like around the summertime of 2022 into 2023 and where we are at right now. The interesting thing about this is that the fun is just beginning for altcoins. We're sitting at about roughly 1.17 trillion. That's his screenshot on the 10th. Right now, I think that this dropped a little bit. I think that we might be down to almost like 1.10 trillion or so. But regardless, we still have a long way to the top. And beyond that, he put out a great post regarding this. He said, "Some will call us lucky for buying the 2023 generational lows. The reality, we have done countless hours of research and know that we hold quality altcoins." Now, he did label some altcoins that he does hold. We'll continue to seriously outperform Parabolic. Where are we in the long-term market cycle? The big question is that everyone is asking. I'd say it's pretty clear that we are past the disbelief stage at this point. The majority of investors finally are bullish and aren't calling for unrealistically low targets anymore. At this stage of the market cycle, nearly all crypto investors finally have realized that we are in a real bull run. And hey, we have been talking about it since going all the way back to the end of 2022. This was not the case only just a few months ago. Back then, many were still conditioned to the long bear market. And because of this, expected bigger retraces after a rally and didn't believe in a bull run. But now, times have changed. Altcoins are about to go parabolic in 2024. If you still are a long-term bear at this stage, what are you doing? You are playing a dangerous game. It's a good thing for us bulls, though. Bears are just bulls in disguise. At some point, bears will have to admit that they are wrong, driving prices a lot higher in the process when they buy back in. It's not like most bears don't believe in crypto. Most bears do want to get in at some point. They are just waiting for the perfect price. That perfect price, however, will not always come. The good thing as a bear, you still have time to transition to a bull. The best is yet to come, just join the party. Of course, the best time to buy was in the accumulation phase, as I've pointed out again and again in 2023. You need to realize that buying at this point is not too late at all. The real alt season hasn't even started yet. Just buy within the next weeks and sell when the mania returns, most likely in the next 6 to 12 months. Choose your investments wisely. Having conviction in your altcoins is very important. Otherwise, you might panic sell when the market dumps. Another hard obstacle is to actually sell at the end of the cycle when you are in life-changing profit. At the end of the cycle, it will most likely be hard to sell for you because you'll have an emotional attachment to your coins. You'll also see the large majority of investors calling for even higher prices, just like most have been calling for lower prices at the bottom. Don't be a bag holder. Could not agree more. Believe me, it will emotionally destroy you. Altcoin corrections after a bull run are brutal. 90 to 99% corrections in price are perfectly normal for most altcoins after they have topped out. So the game plan is simple. The majority of your capital should already be invested at this point of the market cycle. Personally, I'm fully invested into the market right now since the end of 2023. I still have some money in, but at the end of the 2023 year, I think most of my capital was already invested. There is still some pumps that, there's still some pullbacks that I will, put money in from pumps I've taken profit from. But regardless, I'm not looking to, put in a ton of money right now into this market. I've already invested at the end of 2022, during the summer of 2022, and even during 2023. Soon it will get harder and harder to get great entries on altcoins as they will just continue to pump and pump. Make your last altcoin purchases now, hold tight, and sell them in the mania phase. At the end of the bull run, I'll be announcing when I'm taking profits. I wish everyone good luck on this journey. It will be an epic ride. And I could not agree more. Great post by Parabolic Pump, but it's also the same thing right now with Bitcoin, right? Like, we just saw Bitcoin wick to a new all-time high. The weekly candle close was right at the same exact level of the 2021 all-time high. It is now resistance. We might even sell off a little bit. The big thing that I'm really kind of focused on is, are we going to have a massive sell-off to some significant lows? Like, are we going to revisit sub 60K? Are we going to revisit the middle 60K region, like around 63,000 to 65,000? We don't know, right? But regardless, I do think, though, these pullbacks that we will see are not going to be extremely massive like most people are anticipating, not until we actually get into new all-time highs. Even if we go back to 2021, right? So here we have the all-time high from 2017, 2018, and we did battle it, right? A little bit. Like, for an example, here's the first time that we wicked over the all-time high in November of 2020. I would argue that this is like right around where we are right now in the overall market, around this November of 2020 timeframe, where Bitcoin was ranging right against that all-time high, had multiple wicks, and we just ranged sideways for about 3 weeks. Would that be too crazy for us to actually do that right now? No, it wouldn't be. And also, if we look at the price change from this, so first off, the first wick was about roughly an 18.26% wick. The second wick was only 11.18% before we had a massive move to the upside. And then this is when we got those deep wicks or those deep pullbacks. For example, this first major pullback was about roughly a 31% pullback. Right now, if we actually look at where Bitcoin is on this pullback from this candle wick, we're about roughly 4%. If we do follow through with like an 11% or so, it would be like right around $60-some thousand. I would be fine with this in the short term. So something like this, where we kind of pull back down within this demand zone, it's back testing resistance. So this would be the area at about roughly 61,896, almost 62,000. And then we'll range here, and then we push, range a little bit, and then get the big move to the upside. And it's not going to range for weeks on end. No, it's going to range probably for a few hours before we get that big move to the upside. But after that, that's when we watch and we wait patiently for major pullbacks along the way. We be vigilant during this entire process. We take profits on the way up, and we make sure that we are paying ourselves. Now, everyone's big focus is on XRP, right? So as we really look at XRP, we also have to look at Ethereum. So just like Credible Crypto said on the 9th, he was talking about how Bitcoin already tagged its prior all-time high, and it even wicked above it. Everyone knows that Ethereum is inevitably next. If you're on the sidelines at the moment, you're hoping for a wick to 3,600 to about 3,700, but so is everyone else. Would not surprise me to see Ethereum simply keep pumping another 25% to the upside before any significant pullback. And even if we look at Ethereum right now, so I do apologize if you guys do hear my keyboard, it's pretty loud, but regardless, if we go over to Ethereum, right now we just had a candle wick down to about 3,700. I personally see this, and if we actually look at this real quick, so let me put so this is where we had the weekly candle close. It was just shy a little bit of the major resistance zones back in May of 2021. Again, I'm not expecting a massive pullback like this that we seen back in the summer of 2021. This is probably that short-term, slight pullback that we saw even back in the 2021 run-up to the upside. Where are we right now in terms of this Ethereum chart? Are we at this stage right here in January of 2021? It's possible, but I would argue that we're probably a little bit shorter than that. We're probably around roughly the December 2020 timeframe where we have a slight pullback here, and then we get that big move above an all-time high for Ethereum, or even a wick to the all-time high. But when we are going to watch that happen, right, we also have to watch for Bitcoin dominance. I just said the other day, I'm watching Ethereum and altcoins as well, because right now, all focus is on the move from Bitcoin into alts. That transition is going to be huge once we start to see that capital flowing from Bitcoin down the line on a lot of these altcoins. And I even mentioned the XRP dominance chart. Guys, I have an outline on the XRP dominance chart where we just range here a little bit before that next big leg to the upside happens. And the reason why is because this is going all the way back to 2017, 2018, where we've kind of settled on this level. We've closed above it almost on every single weekly candle close. There was wicks below it, yes, but candle body closes have been on this range for a little bit of time. So right now I'm watching for us to tap this level, range a little bit on it, and then get that big move to the upside. Right now, if we actually look at the USD pair, again, if we look at this trend line, we've had, 2 weekly candles above this, and it looked very good until this weekly candle close where we actually closed below the trend line. And now we are looking to see where this is going to go. Are we going to continue to bleed out? But the prior weekly candle, so let me zoom in just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So here's the weekly candle of March 11th. This is the new weekly candle. This weekly candle close that we just got closed at resistance, 62.7 cents. So I'm watching to see this weekly candle, if we can get above this trend line and break above this resistance zone and even break above 66 and almost a half cents, because as you guys do see, we had a wick above that. XRP was trying to attempt a major breakout, but it could not do so. So now we watch and see if we lose 58 and a half cents, 58.65 almost, and then back test 55 cents or possibly even lower at about roughly 52 cents, almost 53 cents before that next leg up. Like I said, this red zone on XRP, sorry about that I have labeled on this chart, this is where you want to be cautious because this is where all of that resistance is. We need a clean break to the upside above this red zone in order for XRP to be looking good yet again. Until that happens, I'm not expecting XRP to have a tremendous move yet in the market, especially even when we look at the XRP the XRP dominance chart. I've also been watching the XRP Bitcoin chart as well. A lot of the Bitcoin pairs right now in this space, when we are talking about altcoin Bitcoin pairs, they do look like they're ready to run. The XRP Bitcoin pair has been bleeding out. Same with the dominance chart as well, which tells me that we are getting closer to that endpoint. Frustration is still at an all-time high when it comes to XRP. But if we actually look at some charts, like big shout to Bill Morgan, Belisarius 2020, he actually put out a post regarding the XRP dominance chart, and he said, what happened on April 1st, 2017 to XRP's market dominance? There was a massive increase in price and volume. Will history rhyme before April 1st, 2024? So this month, are we about to see a major move on the XRP chart? We don't know yet, right? This weekly candle is so far ranging within this level. Are we going to squeeze to the upside here between resistance and this downtrend line, or are we going to break below it and start breaking down? Again, I'm mainly watching the dominance chart, because if we look at where we are at right now, this is roughly 7% away from, in my opinion, bottoming out. Now, could it have a candle wick below that? It sure can, right? Back in 2017, we got it. But I'm watching this weekly candle close for the XRP dominance chart, which is kind of crazy to say because a lot of people will say, you're just watching the XRP dominance chart. These are factors that will affect the USD pair. Once we start to see this really climbing, that's when XRP gets very exciting. But he's been following this chart for a while. And, if we go back in time, like 2017, 2018, this is typically where we would be bottomed out. And then the real fun starts. And, if we look at altcoins, if we look at the overall market, it seems as though we're getting very, very close to that. Big shout to Cryptos. He actually put out an XRP Ethereum chart. I have barely been paying attention to Ethereum charts, but he has been putting out a lot of... He's been putting attention on a lot of these great charts in terms of, what he's been putting out on X. And I do personally love to see everyone else's viewpoints. He's actually showing a 4-hour bullish divergence. This was on March 8th, though. So since then, this didn't really pan out. But regardless, what you want to be watching for is bullish divergence on a lot of these charts, more so on the macro. I'm watching the macro more so than like the 4-hour, but also big shout out to JT. JT here to help. He also put out a monthly chart. This is where I really get interested in focusing on the bigger picture, more so macro, because again, we're watching the weekly chart over here on XRP. We're waiting for that big breakout above the trend line, but most people are also looking at the monthly candle. So this is a monthly chart by JT, and we could see that this goes all the way back to 2014. He's showing us multiple times when XRP has kind of squeezed between this wedge. Right now, we are squeezing between a wedge as well. And the last time that XRP was squeezing like this, it was back in 2017, 2018, when XRP did a massive 40,000% plus run up. Realistically speaking, it did have a 60,000 plus percent, but regardless, what he's saying here is, who is to say XRP cannot move upwards of 1,400 to 4,000% on this similar setup. And this would take us to around that $5 to $10 range, like I was saying. And, that's where I do get, really focused on what's going to happen next around XRP. Are we going to have this major pullback, which typically we would, or are we just going to range here? Because if that is the case, we are going to find solid support above like almost $2 if we maintain that upper trend line. But again, this is a question. It's not a guarantee, but I am watching for this major wedge to squeeze. This is essentially the great squeeze of XRP because, again, in history, if we go back in time, this is when XRP has a major move to the upside. But we are still focused on the altcoin market regardless. We're still not there yet, right? Everyone's excited. But I want you all to understand that altcoins are still far away from the top, just like we see over here from Crypto Yoda. I've been addressing this as well. My main focus point on the altcoin market is roughly around $2.5 trillion to about roughly like $3.5 trillion. So this almost $7 trillion top for altcoins, if that is the number that we are going off of, seems pretty realistic to me. But when we look at altcoins, guys, the altcoin market, it's just beginning. So when it comes to XRP, don't get too frustrated. Don't get too disgruntled that, XRP is not doing a tremendous move right now. Like I said, with XRP, this is like a sideline mover. You keep this one on the sidelines for when it does really wake up while you accumulate and diversify. XRP is going to be a huge winner. I think XRP is going to be a big gem. It's always been a focus of mine. Like I said, the long-term path ahead is clear for XRP. I think that, in the next couple years going forward in terms of utility and technology, XRP is going to be a huge gem. But even short term, we're still eyeing that $5 to $10 range. But you could also diversify, make some money as well on the sidelines, waiting for XRP while putting those profits back into XRP while it just continues to squeeze here, waiting for that big move to the upside. But that move is going to surprise a lot of people, and that's going to be the great squeeze. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join for Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.